the way that we always start out, especially when someone's new to our audience, just give us your whole story, as much or as little as you want to tell us.
Oh my God, we could be here for hours.
That's
Danielle Hayden, founder of Kickstart Accounting Inc. I founded my company 9 years ago. However, I, like so many other people, have had a long, windy road to entrepreneurship. I was originally a creative. I started my career as a hairstylist, and
interesting.
I know I am left, right, and brain,
I love that.
left and right brain. Um, so what I found when I was working as a hairstylist, that I had this knack for using the numbers to grow my book of business. And I was trying to teach the other girls in the salon that I worked with how to read their paycheck, how to use the numbers, how to grow their business, and really take control and empowerment, because they were all just sitting in the back room like, oh, when are more clients going to come in? How do I make more money? So really taught them how to become better managers of their money, how to get control, and how to find empowerment. So fast forward, I went back to school because I thought I was going to own my own hair salon. And along the way, I found accounting, which just sang to my soul. I love the black and white of accounting, and it's really, really quiet in the office. Like, I remember sitting down for the first time and be like, oh my God, I don't have to talk to anybody. Great.
That's my dream, by the way. Wait, I don't have to interact? Great. I can just be by
Yeah.
myself. Wonderful.
And it was so cool. Fast forward 9 years, and I talk all day again.
Sure.
So it wasn't meant to be. But so I found a niche again where I was helping this mid-sized businesses, the board of directors, the CEOs, the management team, how to use our numbers to make business decisions. That's literally what we were doing. And I'm like, wow, every single business owner, I don't care how small you are or how big you are, deserves access to the same financial information, because you deserve to be able to make the same business decision. So we started it back in 2015, helping business owners understand their numbers so they can make better business decisions. Now, here's what I learned real quick though. You can't build a budget, and you can't business plan. You can't file your taxes. You can't tax plan. You can't do any of those things without bookkeeping.
Correct.
You just literally can't. So we had to make a huge pivot in the first year of business, and we use bookkeeping as the vehicle. So when we work with our clients, we do the bookkeeping first. Once we have the foundation created, now we can file your tax return. Now we can do tax planning. Now we can build you a budget. Now we can add on like financial planning, right? But we can't do any of that until we have everything all organized and set up and ready for you as the business owner to make those business decisions.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there is a lot of everything you're talking about. There's a lot of fear around it,
Yeah.
like know your numbers, all of those things. And then just a lot of us don't understand it. So we're going to get into that. But I do just really quickly, I'm just laughing to myself that you went from the most talky profession
You know,
to the least talky profession. That is a pivot that I think is probably unprecedented.
I mean, seriously, it really is. And I didn't last long in, like, I didn't go, I spent like 1 year in at Ernst & Young, and I very quickly found myself in corporate accounting because
Yeah.
I wanted to work with people.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to talk to my management team. I needed to collaborate. I needed to talk to the board. I always say I'm in business because I want to help people run the business. Yeah, and now I'm talking all day again.
Yeah. I love it.
You can't shut me up. And here's the best part about that. They'll never forget my best friend's mom. She said it was like one day when you were like 11, you never talked. You never spoke. You were so
Okay.
quiet as a kid. And then one day you just started talking, and it was like you had something to say. Everybody was going to listen to it, and you never shut up.
I love it. It's fantastic. Oh, I'm just glad that we all get to benefit from you talking now.
Yes,
Great.
thank
So,
you.
okay. So this is going to sound insane, but I just like to lay it out for everybody. Can you explain the difference between bookkeeping and accounting and all of the things? Because I think that there are a lot of people that don't realize that, there are big differences between all of these things.
Okay. I was shocked when I came into business, and people were throwing out all these terms and they were using them differently. And I'm like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of confusion. Because it
Yes.
depends where you came from. If you came from small business, if you came from corporate, depending on what your background is, you're going to call these things all different things. So yeah, let's clear the air once and for all. A bookkeeper is the person who's doing your bookkeeping. All that means is you, and I'm going to use the word business owner a lot. And I
Yeah.
don't care how small your business is or how big your business is. The day that you file your LLC, you are a business owner. Okay.
Correct.
So I'm using the word business owner, interchangeably with CEO, and you, my friend, are that. So as a business owner, you're out there making money. You're out there spending money. And the bookkeeper is taking the bookkeeping, all that making money and spending money, and they're putting it in an organized fashion into your accounting software. And they're creating this really beautiful puzzle for you. Like, I hate puzzles, but that's how people feel, right? Is you have all these puzzle pieces and your bookkeeper is the magician who puts all the puzzle pieces together, and you just get to come by and be like, wow, that's all put together so pretty. Like, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful picture, right? So
Yeah.
your bookkeeper puts the picture of your financials together. Your accountant, it's really a interchangeable term, because if you came from corporate, like, sometimes your bookkeeper just becomes a label of accountant. But generally speaking, your accountant is your CPA or tax accountant. So I hold the CPA designation. It is a very, very, very hard test
I
that
can't even imagine.
that gives you a licensure that says that you are able to perform audits, attestation, taxes. So this is generally your person who is filing your taxes for you. So your tax accountant, their only job is to file your taxes. You do not ring every time you have a business question. You do not call them for business advice. You do not call them for coaching. You do not call them for literally anything but your taxes. And the mistake I see so many people make is that because their tax accountant's the first person most of us hire, because I filed this LLC and I have to file my tax return. Shoot, let me call my tax accountant. They start calling them for everything.
Right.
And their only job is to file your tax return. You might have also a tax strategist, so somebody who's helping you with tax planning. And again, not the same qualifications, not the same, no, it's the same team. Then we have our CFO. So our CFO, I think that this can be interchangeable with a business coach, but our CFO is the person, so let me define it, it's Chief Financial Officer. However, in small business, the way I define a CFO is the person who's going to help you start to look forward in your business. So bookkeeper, looking backwards. CFO, we're looking to the future. So I'm going to start creating a business budget. I'm going to make business decisions for the future with my numbers. Whereas your bookkeeper is going to tell you, this is what happened in the past. Here's what you need to start doing. Here's what you need to stop doing. But your CFO is going to help you look to the future.
And I do think that one of the things that I will say personally, as someone who works with mostly small business owners, I will encourage people always, and I'm sure you have some strong feelings about this. When you said the minute you file your LLC, the minute you become a business owner, which I don't care if you have 1 employee or 10 employees or 20 employees or 200 employees, you are correct. You are a CEO and you are a business owner. I believe that you must pay someone to file your taxes for you. I still hear about people who have decent sized businesses. Listen, everybody's got to do what works for them. But like, if you own a business, please have someone professional do your taxes,
Yes. Yeah.
period.
Yes, period. So here's the thing. Been around for a long time, worked with a lot of business owners, and you mentioned at the beginning, there is a lot of fear and shame around our numbers. And I'll never forget my first year in business, I had an old family friend do my taxes. Although I was a CPA, I was like, you know what? I want this like checks and balance. I'm gonna do the bookkeeping. He's gonna do the taxes and just make sure everything's right. I walked into Joe's office and he hadn't updated his office since I walked in that office when I was a kid. He had that
Yeah.
old brown paneling. It was
Yeah,
awful.
I know exactly. I have a vision. I know what that looks like.
Yep. Yep. We can all visualize it. A hot summer day. I actually have naturally curly hair, and it was sticky and stuffy. And I remember walking into his office. I was so ashamed. I didn't grow enough. I didn't pay myself enough. I didn't do the bookkeeping throughout the year. I felt so overwhelmed. And I walk into this man's office and he shakes his head at me and calls it my little business.
Yeah. I don't love that.
Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And I walked out of Joe's office and I said, no one should
Yeah.
ever have to feel that way again.
Yep.
Now, Joe, I'm sorry if you're listening. I'm like terrified he's going to hear me talk one day. However, shame on you, Joe. I was a growing business owner. I needed somebody to come in and create a space for no judgment.
Yeah.
So you need to find, as a business owner, you need to find the right team. When we work with our clients, so we do the bookkeeping, tax, and CFO work. When we work with our clients, we have a rule. There is no judgment. There is no place for shame. You're going to give us access to the closest thing to you, right? We feel that and we understand that deeply.
Yep.
Deeply. And so you need to find a tax account that you want to work with. Now, can I tell you one more story about the tax woes?
Please.
Okay. So if you are doing your own bookkeeping and you're doing your own taxes, you have so much risk.
Yes.
So people say to me, I'm not very risk adverse. Like I'm kind of in this business owner thing. I'm just, I'm so scared of risk. That's why I'm doing it myself. It's the exact opposite. So we had this client come to us last year and she had been doing her own bookkeeping. She used HoneyBook and she was using QuickBooks Online. She's like, I think I'm doing really awesome. I'm growing past a point where I think I need a team. I want to offboard this to you guys. Like, I think I'm doing good. I think I'm at a good spot, but I'm just going to have you guys do it in the future. So we go to do her taxes for 2023 and we're like, whoa, you don't want us to file this. What was happening was that all of her sales were duplicated in QuickBooks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She created the sync with HoneyBook and
Oh.
find the payment. Now, we worked with a lot of business owners in this industry, so we've seen it happen over and over. Now, we did what we call a catch up for her. So we went back and we recategorized all of her sales. We applied everything correctly. We restructured things. So luckily we caught it. She knew what her accurate profitability was. We filed her taxes correctly. Had she not come to us, she was about to seriously overpay in her taxes.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's actually a problem. That's a better problem than the other problem, which is she had paid in way too much money.
Yeah.
But she had also lost probably, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars by overpaying. I mean, it's definitely better than the alternative.
Well, she had paid estimated taxes all year based on her income. So at least she was able to get the refund from the IRS.
Yeah, sure.
If she didn't work with us, nobody would have caught that.
Correct.
So to your point, 5 minutes ago, sorry. To your point, if you're doing your own taxes, you are putting your business at risk. You're putting your family at risk. You're putting your suppliers at risk, any employees you have at risk. And I don't think anybody wants that, right? I don't think anybody's doing it maliciously. I just think we think in our heads like we have some superhero cape, like I have to do it all myself.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, stop doing things you're not qualified to do.
Right. Yeah. And I just think that there are situations that, I mean, like you said, the education that you went through and the work that you have to do to become anything in the financial sphere, an accountant, a certified financial planner, any of those things, there's a tremendous amount of education that comes with that. I can make someone's underwear drawer look really pretty, but I have no idea what COGS is. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And you know what? I would say I can't do what you do. I need you. I desperately need you.
Yeah.
And we need each other. And so we don't we can all retire our superhero capes and say, we need each other and how can we best use each other's strengths?
Yeah. Well, and I will say too, just on the please go get professionals to help you. I'm very much, and I've talked about it on this podcast, and it's hilarious because I love helping people with their business. I mean, I do things for people all the time. I coach them. I do all the things. I'm a DIY girl at heart. I like to do a lot of things myself in my business. And this is one where it's a non-negotiable for me. You have to have an accountant. My accountant has saved me literally tens of thousands of dollars that I would normally not have. And it's really, really important to have that person on your side. I am Definitely not smart enough to do it.
That's
Let's
smart.
just talk though about the whole know your numbers thing, because I think simply because we're not experts at this, sometimes you just go, well, I'm just going to mess around and well, I've got money in my checking account. So, or I've got money in my business banking account. So I must be fine or whatever. But tell me about that fear around knowing your numbers.
So I call it the report card effect. If you're anything like me, I talked too much at school. Well, once I turned 11.
Right.
And my mom thought if she grounded me, that maybe I would stop talking and that my
Mm.
grades would get better.
Yeah.
Natural. But I saw so many of my friends going through this, especially my entrepreneur friends
Yeah.
who we're so used to getting report cards.
Yes.
And a report card tells you if you pass or fail. Like literally you failed. You're
Yeah.
held back. Okay.
Right.
Now let's fast forward because we're not robots, we're people. And so now you're taking all this history from your childhood and you plop into entrepreneurship and you say, well, my accountant's going to send me my numbers. I'm going to find out if I passed or failed. Of course we're scared. Of
Yeah.
course we're not numbers people, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course we don't want to open up the financial report. So if we can change that reframe to think, wow, my numbers are an opportunity to do things differently. We
Yeah.
had a client who she had invested in like a second stream of income. And when you looked at her point of sale system, like seriously, Melissa, like hockey stick revenue, like
Mhm.
blowing it away compared to her original business. And she had to hire some contractors to help her fulfill her contracts. And what was happening every month when we looked at her financials, so we send our clients their financials on a monthly basis with their
Okay.
snapshot. The snapshot is an easy to read document. So Katie would read her document every month and she was like, oh, my debt keeps going up. Like why is my debt going up? Hold on, my cash is going down. My my profit's going down. Now if I look at my point of sale system and my revenue, that's skyrocketed. I'm good. But
Yeah.
everything else is not in the right direction. And it was around August. So she started this in January. Around August, she called me. She goes, I have to close it down.
Mm.
I'm putting my family in jeopardy. I'm gonna end up in bankruptcy. I can't take on this much debt. I can't keep on paying my contractors this way. I know I had this growth, but it doesn't profit wise make sense. And she shut it down by the end of the year and she saved her business. She's in business today because she saved herself.
Yeah.
Now imagine if Katie only looked at her financials when she prepared them for the taxes.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
what so many business owners do is they wait until the end of the year, they throw their financials together, they look at it one time, maybe, or
Yeah.
maybe their tax accountant just files taxes with it, and they never made a business decision with it. So knowing your numbers is about finding power.
I love that. It's a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah. And nobody's gonna come and tell you you failed.
Yeah.
Even if you lost money, you didn't fail. And you get to learn from it.
Correct.
So if you don't wait and you actually look, how cool.
Yeah.
I lost money last month. Well, what the hell did I do wrong?
Right.
You like you get to look. And if you made money, how did I make money? What happened? How
Yeah.
cool
What did
was
I do? Yeah. And to be able to understand those patterns too in the organizing business, it can be cyclical.
Yeah.
Know, summer, depending, and all of this depends on a lot of different factors. It depends on where you live. If you live in an area like I do, where people go to their cabin every weekend, organizing might be not on the top of their list. But if you are in a cyclical business, as we can tend to be in, you have to plan for those peaks and valleys, and you
Yeah.
have to have the peak months service the valley months.
So that's why we talk about budgeting so much with small business owners, because there's a power in budgeting that when you have your bookkeeping in place, right? So when we know where we've been now, because we know where we've been, we can now see, well, shoot, summer's a really slow time, but I still need to get paid because I
Right.
have a family and
Yes.
I need to pay myself. So let's budget out my spending instead of acting like I'm a millionaire during the high months, and let's even that out and budget our money accordingly. And that there's power. I think when we hear the word budget, they're like, people are like, all right, Danielle's going to tell me where I have to stop spending money and I got to cut
Yeah.
back and no more Starbucks. And I'm like literally not saying that. I'm like,
Right.
here, let me give you $100 a month in Starbucks, but let's
Right.
just plan for it, you
Right.
know?
Yes. Know that you have to plan for it. The know your numbers thing is so much more than, and you really touched on it. It's so much more than just finances too, because it's everything that goes into finances. It is for what we do. How many potential clients do you have coming into your business? What are your projections? What do you think? How many hours a week are you able to work? I will sometimes have people come into some of our programs and they say, I really want to be a professional organizer because I want to have my own time. I want to be my own boss. And I would like to make $100,000 a year, but I only want to work 3 hours a week. So I'll be like, we have a mismatch on expectations versus reality. But some of that is also, I had a boss many years ago that said hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
And it's true. I think as a business owner, there are times you're like, oh, I hope things get better. What am I doing to go make them better? And how can I plan out so that I don't have as many panic months?
Yeah. One thing that clients will come on a call with me and they'll say, Danielle, like they brace themselves, they're like, where should I cut back? And I'm like,
Yeah.
cut back spending. You told me at the beginning of the year that your goal was growth,
Yeah.
right? You wanted to bring on more clients and X amount of revenue.
Yeah.
How are you going to get there?
Right.
They were just going to fall from the sky? If you're not spending 8 to 10% of your sales in advertising and marketing, you can't expect to grow. So when we work with our clients, we walk them through their healthy percentages. So that means in each area of your spending, you need to be spending a healthy amount of money to to have a growing business. Now you
Right.
need to align your spending with what your intentions are for your business. So if you're in a season where, I really need to grow my team and I'm not going to work as much and I just really want to find some balance, your spending structure is going to look a little bit different. You might not be spending as much in marketing. You're spending more on your team because you want your team managing your clients. So your biggest expense during that time is going to be more in payroll than it is in advertising and marketing, which is perfect. But we as business owners need to think about what our intentions are, what are our goals, and how do we actually physically spend money to hit our goals. And that's the power of knowing your numbers and budget, right? Like I know my numbers, I know what I did. So I have some history of what worked and what didn't. Now let me plan for the future.
Yeah. What do you recommend for people who, let's say you have the people who are the blinders people? Do you have what is your plan for them? Let's say one of those people came to you. What would you be doing with them?
So if you are somebody who this area for you is you just want to bury your head in the sand and it doesn't have any impact on how you spend money
Mhm.
because some people burying your head in the sand, you might be a keeper or a spender. So that means you have a lot of money in savings. Like I just want to keep all my cash, or you might be a free spender. Either way, if you were to come to our firm, we hold your hand in a way that's going to feel really supported. So, opening the door for you to say, hey, we're going to meet you at your speed. We're not going to let you disappear. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to hold your hand, right? So, here's what we need from you in order to get started. We're going to meet with you on a regular basis in order to get all that information. And then we're going to do it for you. Right. So for anybody who's somebody who's put your head in the sand, get it off your plate. Right.
Right.
Because then
Yeah.
once we have access to everything, you can go put your head in the sand. Because at the
Right.
end of the month, we're going to send you your financial reports. We're going to wave a flag at you. We're going to be your accountability partner. Hey, I'm out to play. You're going to book a call. You're going to review your financial statements because you're going to like your team because we actually are cool people who actually talk to you and talk about what happened in a non-judgmental way. Oh shoot, that's how much money I spent. Oh my God. Like
Yeah.
safe space to be like, I cannot believe I actually spent that much money.
Yeah.
Or celebrate. Who can you really go to say, guess what? I hit my first month of $10,000 in sales.
Big deal.
Like most of your friends are not calling because they'll be like, oh, cool, you're paying for dinner on Friday.
Right.
Right? I mean, maybe your partner you can't call your mom, like your mom doesn't get it. Your partner might not get it. So having a bookkeeper who you like to talk to, you can celebrate, oh my God, it's my first $10,000 month. How cool. Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And they're there to help celebrate with you and then commiserate when things aren't good. So if you're somebody who is burying their head in the sand, find a team that will be there to celebrate with you. Find a team that will be there to help you softly take your blinders off, not abruptly, just softly, just start to pull them back, and find somebody who you want to talk to. And that might not be me. You might think I'm really annoying, but find whoever it might be to do that for you. One thing that my team told me to stop saying, but I think it's really important.
Whatever it is, I'm already going to love it if they told you to stop saying it. So
You have a responsibility
Mm.
as a business owner.
Mhm.
You don't get to put your head in the sand.
Correct.
You literally aren't allowed. The day that you took out your LLC, the day that you decided to take money from a client, the day that you signed up to have a vendor partnership, you spent money as a business, you now took on responsibility.
Yep.
You don't get to just put the blinder on. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
tough love. Get over it. I don't care if you're a money person. I don't care if you like numbers. The government doesn't care. The IRS doesn't care.
Right.
Nobody's coming to save you. You have to take responsibility for yourself. And what that might look like is asking for help. And that's okay.
Yeah. I did not go back to it when you originally said it, but I want to go to it now. I think that when you talked about being non-judgmental and how sometimes there are people that are judgmental, and that is something that we deal with in our work. People, being non-judgmental when you're an organizer is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And so you have to find someone on the other end, especially if money is something that is to you, you need to find someone that is not going to make you feel dumb or less or anything when you have these questions. Because when you start a business, there are way more questions than anyone could ever ask, that any one person can hold in their head, right? And a lot of us have never had to do any of these things before. And so finding someone that you connect with in the same way that we have clients that when you said, I might annoy you. Same thing with organizing clients. I might not be your cup of tea.
Right.
Cool. Go find that person that really connects with you and speaks the same language as you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there is a lot of, it's just as funny as you were thinking about the whole knowing your numbers. I'm like, I do not enjoy getting on the scale. I do not enjoy looking like finances and that type of thing. I think are in the same category of
I
like,
think so.
if I just ignore it, it will go away. It definitely doesn't. And like you said, the government doesn't care. I'm sure that you have seen this reel a million times or the TikTok, but it's okay. Government, can you tell me how much money I owe? No, you have to figure it out yourself. Well, what if I get it wrong? We send you to jail. So
It's so true.
it is a very complex system. And, I should say we have people that listen all over the globe. So obviously this is a very American-centric conversation, but I'm sure taxes are no fun in really any country.
Yeah. I mean, even across borders, I mean, we all have our version of it. So
There's no way that, the Canadian revenue system or anything, and like, we're all not having fun with taxes, right? So
Yes.
yeah, but knowing your numbers and just confronting them and being honest with them. And I think just taking them, like, it's just a data point. It's not a good or a bad. It's not a value judgment. It's not a measure of your worth. It's just, and knowing them can allow you to get better.
Tool in your tool belt is how
Yes.
I like to consider it. Your financial statements, your like each one is just a tool in the tool belt that you get
Yeah.
to learn from. And doesn't mean I don't do it all right. You don't do it all right. But I think we're both able to say, hold on, let me learn from it and continue to grow. I keep on hearing lately, as I'm called to hear it, about the infinite game where we're in it. We're in this. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It is I'm never gonna win. If we can start to think about owning our businesses, I'm never gonna win.
Mhm.
Even if I hit 6 figures, even if I hit $1 million, those are just milestones in the journey. I didn't win the game. So there's no failing in the game either, right?
Right.
It's just an infinite journey.
Someone goes away from the Super Bowl not a winner. It does not mean that they have had a terrible season.
Yeah. And that's a game. Like,
Yes.
owning a business isn't a game. So
Correct.
it's not a one-time event.
Yes.
Well, that's finite. There's a Super Bowl and it is finite. Whereas this owning a business thing is infinite as long as we want to keep doing it for. And so we can keep on showing up to say, even if I lost money last year, I can still show up and do it again.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might lose money again and I might do better. And look,
Yeah.
hey, if I lost money for the last 12 months, I'm just going to consider it a rolling 12. And guess what? In my rolling 12, I didn't lose money. And guess what?
Right.
I won.
I love it. Do you ever I'm trying to think about how to phrase this question. Is there a time that you say, "Hey, you know what? I think that you've given it a college try and it's maybe time to."
Never.
Okay, interesting. Tell me more about that.
It's not my decision to make.
Yeah.
We have never once told a client that. It is I do consider us more of a coach than a consultant, and I
Yeah.
don't think anybody who's coming to us to say, "We are presenting you with the facts. Here
Mm,
are the facts." The facts might be, "This is the 3rd year in a row that you lost money."
yeah.
Not for me to say, "You should stop trying now."
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, "Hey, you lost money the last 3 years. What can we learn? What should we do differently? What would success look like? What are the things that we can do to get to success? Who's the business coach I need to hire? Here's the marketing changes I need to make. Here's the things I need to do to change my team." But it's never going to be my decision. And if you have a business coach or a CPA or a bookkeeper who's telling you that, I would question who you have on your team
Yeah.
because that's not their choice.
Yeah.
It's your choice when you're done.
Do you see a difference between men and women business owners?
Of course. Our male clients, it's so funny when we do a discovery call with a man versus a woman, most of our men, by the time they get on the call with us, yeah, I need help. I'm not doing it myself. Here, take it. Most of our male clients know that I'm not a CPA. I don't know how to do bookkeeping. Why in the world would I ever learn this? I've got shit to do. I'm gonna go make money and grow this business. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what I'm good at. You do what you're good at. So there seems to be a little bit more like cut and dry of I'm not the person for this role.
Mm,
You are. Do it. And so we actually when we tend to find them to be like an easier kind of sign up in the process. There's not as much emotion in the handover of information either of, hey, here's my stuff. There's not as much, I don't know, they're taking it as much judgment. And then there's a change around spending of money. And I don't know that this is fully across men and women, but there seems to be a little bit more of I need to spend money in order to grow this business. And and
okay.
I and I know that all men have a different personality
Sure.
style,
Yeah.
money personality style. It just leans a little bit more towards the same thing with hire a bookkeeper. They also know I don't know how to run paid ads, so I'm gonna hire the paid ads guy. So there just seems to be a little bit more. I don't have to do it all.
It's not to generalize, but are women trying to figure out how I can do it myself or asking for help is hard or
I think it's the asking for help.
okay.
I think it's the asking for help. I'm not big enough.
Okay.
I'm not worthy.
Mm,
I'm not enough. This thing, it's just my little hobby. I'm doing it on the side. I'm not a business owner. I'm not a CEO. So I started with that at the beginning.
sure.
You have an LLC. You're a business owner. You're the CEO of
Correct.
your business. Period.
If
Period.
you've been paid more than $1 for your services, you're a
Business owner.
business owner.
Yep. And you're the CEO of that. So
Yes.
I think that that's the biggest mindset shift that I see for women. Is I'm not enough. And that if I'm not big enough, then I can just wear my superhero cape and do the bookkeeping on my little thing that I'm kind of doing on the side. It's not that important. It's not going to be that big of an impact to my family's taxes, right? There's a little bit of straight in your spine when you hire a bookkeeper and you have a tax account. I'm not going to be the one doing this. I
Mhm.
deserve help. I am big enough. I am enough to have somebody else come and tell me what I need to do. I don't think we're doing DIY bookkeeping and taxes because we want to.
Right.
I think it's a deeper mindset problem of like, I'm forced to. Like, I haven't made it yet.
Right. You have to yeah, I like that concept of worthy, like, that a business is only a business if it gets to a certain magical
Yeah.
phantom number.
Who said so?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, who said so? So when we work with our clients, we have pricing tiers.
Mhm.
So our clients who are doing less than $100,000, you have pricing that fits your budget. If you're doing $500,000, there's price, because it's going to take us a little bit longer to do that client. But to be clear, most accounting firms don't do that. So
Right.
it's an anomaly that we do this, but we do it on purpose because I believe that if you're bringing in $50,000 this year, $75,000 this year, you still deserve a bookkeeper.
Absolutely.
You still deserve tax help. You still deserve access to the numbers. And I want you to have access to the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think that you're going to get to $500,000?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone starts out small. Everyone.
We all do.
Yeah. You do not. I actually just put up a podcast at the day that we're taping this. I put up a podcast and I just said, anyone who is, if you ever hear the phrase overnight success, there's literally no such thing as that. And same thing, like you don't get to be $1 billion business without starting with your first dollar. Like, period. The end. Everybody starts small.
Yeah.
So is there a kind of a sweet spot of when someone in their business needs to start thinking about this? I assume you think it's day one. Are there some people that you're like, hey, get through 6 months and see how it goes, that type of thing? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I would say get some consistent revenue, prove your business concept. So do you have a business? Are you going to be selling on a regular basis? If you do a one-time project, of course you don't need a bookkeeper or a tax accountant yet. But if you are actively searching for clients and taking projects on an ongoing basis, you've proven the concept, you've proven that people want it in your area and that you are regularly going to be in this function, that's when it's time. So yes, to your point, like if you just started yesterday and you haven't taken anything yet, no, that's not to say we don't have clients like that, because there's some people who are like, hey, I'm about to get busy and in 6 months, I'm not gonna have time to deal with this. So I'm gonna get you in place today. And then when I get busy, like this is already good. So we do work with clients like that all the time. Or just like, I gotta get this bookkeeping and tax thing in place. I want to set it and forget it. Now I'm gonna go make money.
Right.
Depends on your mindset and how convicted you are in your business.
So this is something that we see a lot as organizers. So this is less of a business owner question and more of and it makes me have secondhand anxiety because it's not my problem, yet we see it. So I'm just trying to think about how to formulate the question right. But example, I gave a presentation one time and a guy came up to me and said, I'm so disorganized. Especially in papers, I have paper everywhere. He casually says, I haven't filed my taxes in 10 years. Do you have any just advice for a situation like that? Just in terms of, hey, you got to get your stuff together.
I mean, start now, wherever you're at, right? If you haven't done in the last few years, I think it can start to become this mountain.
Yes.
So don't get there. Like seriously, you guys don't get there, because the banks actually have a really hard time giving you access to statements. We just did a catch up for a client, 5 years. She hadn't filed her taxes in 5 years.
Ouch.
She had to call the bank to
Okay.
send us PDF statements that we then had to convert in order to be able to get the information to QuickBooks. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be for you.
Yes.
Because now she had to pay the bank for her statements. She had to pay us $1 gazillion to go through and manually input all of this work from the PDFs into QuickBooks, because you can't do that with any type of automation when we're going 5 years back.
Right.
So don't be there. Like wherever you are, stop. And there's no paper anymore.
Yeah.
So
right.
Like when I say get organized, I mean have a business checking account and a personal checking account.
Yes.
Have a business credit card and a personal credit card. When you go out to dinner, if you talk, about you're going with your mom, then you pay with your personal card. If you go to Walmart and you have business and personal stuff, separate the transaction. You just organized it.
Yep. Separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Very important.
Not that hard. Just and especially like you guys know how to organize. Right.
We
so
do.
Organize your thoughts around it. Business goes out of business, personal goes out of personal. And we don't need to keep a box of receipts or papers or anywhere. I don't know. Does that answer the question?
Yes. You should see some of our clients though.
Yeah. I get it. No shame. No shame. I totally get it. There's areas I am the same way with you. I was telling the story this morning. I got pulled over a few months ago with my daughter on our way to a doctor's appointment. And the cop came up to the window and goes, "Do you know why I'm pulling you over?" And I'm like, "I really don't, actually." He
Mm.
goes, "Well, your tags have expired." And I'm like,
Oh.
"It's not my birthday. I drive a leased car." And I'm like, "Oh, shoot." I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh, okay." I'm like, "When they expire?" He's December.
Oh.
It's June. And I'm like,
Oops.
"Oh." I'm like, "That was a long time ago." "Okay. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Goes back to the window. He's like, "All right, good news. I'm not gonna tell you." We all have our thing, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing is my personal admin tasks. I can't
Yes.
seem to get organized. So I get it, right? Like, I just tell you that story is that I get it.
Yeah. For confessing things, I'm staring right there at a decently large pile of mail that I have not gone through. Now,
Uh,
I'm sure 98% of it is just gonna get shredded, but there might be that 2% that's really important. I don't know. So we all have our things.
yeah, we
Just
do.
oh,
Yeah, but get help. So my mail, I actually also hate my mail. My son's in charge of that. So he
oh, I
gets
love
the
that.
mail, and once a week, anything addressed to Kickstart, he scans and he emails it to me. So,
Oh, that's really great.
job for any of our kids.
I love that. So tell me just a little bit more about if you had to give 2 pieces of advice. We're gonna say early business owner and experienced business owner. Do you have anything that you would wanna tell
Separate your
us?
business and personal. So like we were just saying, like normally that's the first advice I give to anybody is make sure that those are separate. You are not your business. Let me
Yeah.
repeat that. You are not your business. And when you are spending personally out of your business account, you're doing what's called piercing the corporate veil. Now, when
Mhm.
somebody comes and sues you or you get audited, you've just now exposed your entire personal life as well.
Yeah.
So stop spending personally out of your business account. Take owner's draws. I don't care how big or small you are. You are taking owner's draws, which transfers the money from your business account to your personal account. Now you pay the daycare bill, the mortgage, you know what I mean? You pay your personal bills from your personal account with your owner's draws. When you become an S corp, when you're making enough money that it's tax advantageous to become an S corp, and you put yourself on payroll, then you're paying your personal expenses from your personal account. So I think that to me, if you leave with nothing else, make
Mhm.
sure that's separate. That way, when you go and you have your taxes done by your professional, or you hire the bookkeeper, you're ready to start setting budgets, you have everything in an organized format so that they just take the business checking account and the business credit card and they make these beautiful, they like, you know, magic wand it right into set up financial statement.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit more about how you do your work. So, one of the other things that I talk to organizers a lot about is, and again, we're just using the United States as an example. We will have people that come to our coaching group and they will say, I don't want to pass my discount on to my employee or to my clients anymore. I'm going to take my Container Store discount. And,
Yep.
how do I need to account for that? And I'm 100% of the time, I'm like, you got to ask an accountant in your state, and sometimes even in your own municipality, there might be different laws and rules. Like someone in California has very different laws than I do in Minnesota that someone does in New
Yep.
Jersey, whatever. So, can you talk a little bit about how the state by state thing works with the kind of work that you do?
Yeah. So we are national. So we work with anybody in the United States. So when we work with our clients, we can do both the bookkeeping and tax from a federal and state level. But you are right. Two big things differentiate state by state. It is your payroll and the laws around your employees and your team, and then sales tax
Yeah.
and whether or not you're going to pass that through or how you're going to collect and pay. So those are the two big things that you really wanna make sure that you have that resource. It doesn't they don't have to be in your state. Like I said, we work with clients in every state.
Yeah.
We just have the research tools to be able to help you in your state.
Is there anything that I haven't touched on that you wanted to talk about?
I think the big thing that I always wanna tell people is it's okay.
Mm.
We all have a lot of shame around it. We all have our thing. It's not an easy topic for anybody. I talk about this stuff all every
Yeah.
However, it's still hard for me, like, to talk about Kickstart's finances, like, Kickstart
Sure.
Accounting business. Like, I'm running a business too, and I met with my bookkeeping and CFO team this morning, and it's still hard for me to hear things.
Sure.
And it was like kind of felt awkward sometimes. And I'm like, okay, well, like I can do it too. So it's not just you and it's okay. But guess what? You have to do it anyway. You have to do it anyway. So just like I went to the gym this morning and I'm going to drink this whole freaking cup of water, that even if I don't want to, I'm going to also look at my numbers. We're going to do the hard things.
Well, and I really like that because one of the things that I am passionate about, and I saw this through, so I came from a corporate background, and I saw that, and I have this in myself too. Women don't negotiate in the same way. That's why I asked you about the differences between men and women. Women don't negotiate salary the same way. They don't negotiate, like, talking about money for women. Again, not to wildly generalize, it can be harder. And I think that there is a lot of, whether it is shame or whether it is just, I don't understand it and I'm embarrassed for not understanding it. I should know, there's recrimination. I
Yeah.
should know these things.
Yep.
Well, how should you know these things?
And that's why we hire all women.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have a woman like led team because we want to create that space for you to be able to say, I know you explained it to me like 10 times, but can you
Can you explain it again?
like 10 more times for me?
Yeah.
Like there's a space where you can go and feel. I don't think that's always the case with numbers. There's not a lot of spaces for women to come in and say, I just really don't know what you're talking about. Can you say that again?
Yeah. And just in the same way that we ask people to hire us,
Yeah.
we ask people to hire us and bring us into their most personal spaces. Money is your most personal electronic space,
Yeah.
you know?
What you guys do is vulnerable.
It
It
is
really
super
is.
vulnerable.
So
But
you
money's very vulnerable.
it is.
And one of the things we're trying to do inside of our coaching group is talk about money more. Like, we had someone the other day that just posted about, hey, our team had our first $40,000 a month. That's crazy, right? Like, that's amazing. But she broke down, well, here's where that $40,000 went.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to be a little bit more open about that, but it's really hard. It feels like it's supposed to be secret.
Yeah. Like I said, you're probably not calling your friends. Probably not calling
Correct.
your mom. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're not having my mom told me growing up, you don't talk about money, religion, politics.
Yeah. Money, religion, politics, and sex.
Yeah. 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 You left that one out, ironically.
But I think we talk about all those other things way more than we talk about money.
Yeah.
I think you could add up, like, if you talk about all four of those things, we definitely talk about three of those things all the time, and we don't talk about money. We
Yeah.
just don't. So just being open and transparent about it, I think, is great. So
Yeah. Start talking about your money. The only way that you can grow your business is to know your numbers and to talk about the money.
yeah,
We have to. We have to do it. And there's people who want to do it with you.
yeah, absolutely. Well, tell people if they are in this, we'll just call it a valley of a valley of shame, or I don't want to know, or whatever we want to call it, and people want to crawl out and get some help. How can they get in touch with you?
Kickstart Accounting Inc. is the best place to go. Book a call. My team is really probably nicer than I am. They're great humans, great women who just really want to help, and they show up every day to make a huge impact in the world and in your communities. So come book a call, talk to us, and promise we won't bite.
And one of my biggest passions is making sure that women can have thriving businesses so that they can keep it going too. And I think that's the biggest thing about money is, money may not be everyone's goal for their business, but it does, you do need money to be able to move on. And
At the end of
so,
the day, you have to pay your taxes.
yeah, you have to. And so at the end, like, in order to have that longevity and in order to keep your business going, like, I want you to keep your business going so that people can continue to get helped. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Appreciate it.